The delivery for Jerry. My name is Chris. This happened years ago, but it's the kind of thing that just sticks with you, you know? I was 17 that summer, working nights at the only pizza place that would hire me on the outskirts of my childhood hometown. The uniform was sticky. The delivery car barely made it up hills. And the pizza was god-awful. Like genuinely terrible. I still don't understand how anyone in their right mind ordered from there. But it was a job, and I needed the money. That night, a Wednesday, I was restocking the fridge with sodas when the tablet buzzed with an online order. A large sausage and olive pizza. I remember that distinctly because we never got olives. The address was out in the middle of nowhere, past the edge of our delivery zone. I was ready to reject it, but Russell, my 30-something manager, who mostly scrolled Reddit, looked over and said, "Take it. We haven't had a run in over an hour." When the pizza was ready, I grabbed the box. The drive would kill 30 minutes at least. But as I looked at the delivery instructions Russell had stapled to the box, my stomach dropped. It said, word for word, "Park on the street behind the house. Walk through the backyard. Knock on the back door only." My 17-year-old brain tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were renovating the front. Maybe they didn't want to wake someone. But the feeling that something was wrong was palpable. The air outside was still hot and humid, with that stale, sour smell of old plastic and sun-baked dirt that I hate. It was the kind of night that makes you feel like you're walking through invisible jelly. The drive was long. When I finally got to the address, the GPS had routed me along a skinny side street that ran parallel to the backyards. There were no streetlights, and the house was completely dark. No lights on inside, no cars in the driveway, just a sagging backyard with overgrown grass. I parked on the gravel shoulder, grabbed the pizza and my flashlight, and walked up the incline toward the back door. I knocked and waited. Nothing. I knocked a second time, knowing Russell would be livid if I came back empty-handed. I was about to knock a third time when I saw the curtain move. Not a lot. Just a tiny, quick twitch, like someone rushed it with their finger. It was so fast I wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't been staring at the glass. I stood there, waiting for the person who was clearly right behind the door to open up. But before that happened, 2 unmarked cars pulled up to the street behind mine. I thought I was about to get in trouble for trespassing. A man got out of one of the cars and motioned for me to come over. I thought, great, Jerry is home. But as I got closer, he flashed a badge. He was an undercover police officer. He didn't say anything except, "Head back to your car and wait there." That was it. I backed away slowly, climbed into the delivery car, and watched. That's when I realized there weren't just 2 officers. There were 5, maybe more, all of them with flashlights, moving stealthily, circling the house in silence. Not one of them knocked or announced their presence. One of the officers tried the back door handle, the same one I had just knocked on. When it didn't open, he just nodded to another guy and backed off. It felt like I was watching something I wasn't supposed to see. The first officer came back, crouched beside my window, and let out a short sigh when he saw the pizza box. He was vague, but he said there was an ongoing investigation and they were staking it out. He told me to leave immediately. I insisted, frustrated, that my boss would kill me. He just shrugged his shoulders and repeated the order. I drove back, and the gravity of the situation only sank in halfway through the ride. If the police hadn't intervened, something awful could have happened. I don't even know what. But the threat of the police was probably the only reason the person inside didn't open the door. But why order a pizza if you're being watched? Maybe I was the bait. A test to see if the cops were watching that side of the house. The curtain moving, the silence, the timing. Maybe the person didn't know. Or maybe I'll never get an explanation. And that's what bothers me. I know the name on the order was Jerry. I know it was a sausage and olive pizza. I know the instruction was to knock only on the back door. And I know that for 5 seconds, I was standing at the door of a house that was being staked out by the police. I got back to the pizza place and Russell was as angry as I thought he'd be. I told him about the police and he just looked at me like I was mad. He didn't believe me. He just told me to go home. I never went back to that job. I still think about that night sometimes. The pizza, the police, and the person behind the curtain. I don't know what was going on, and I don't want to. I just know that I was almost in the middle of it.